I bet with Interbet only. They're a fantastic site. I've never had any issues with them. They are very professional. There's never a problem. You deposit money, 2 seconds later it's in your account. You withdraw, which I do very occasionally, and I believe it's also 2 seconds it's in your account.
Well, in the previous race, the second race, Dees has gone for went for the value around 12 to 1 Bon Bouche. I've gone for one in the third race where not as nearly as big odds as Dees's one was in the previous race. The horse that I like here is at around 5.5 to 1, but more about that in a moment, because we need to tell you that the third race is the Gallop TV YouTube channel 86 handicap, where they will race over 1,200 meters at 13.50 at the time of recording. And you know that we record this show more than 24 hours before the race meeting, so we urge you to check your scratchings, jockey changes, betting moves, and all that goes with it before taking your final bets. Nothing to report about the changes. D's in the third race. Yes, number 1, Hope Is Power, has obvious claims. He's very consistent. Daring Act, interesting runner from the high felt, post-maiden form not the greatest, but on the poly he could start finding himself. Cotton Ron, Don Carrari always have chances. Rugger Bugger can do better. Fort Lauderdale trying the poly for the first time for Baron Boertes. Now I Got You ran a very good second last time. So you can go on and dig and find form and horses that have got chances. But for me, like in the previous race, your horse, your play was Bon Bouche. In this race, I'm in the camp of Mr. Henley, trading at around 5.5 to 1. Tony Riverland stable coming good now. Jobu Jacobs taking every opportunity with both hands. Yes, he is making us wait for his next win. 86 weeks to be exact since his last victory. But his last couple of runs have been good. He goes well on the poly. There's lots to like about him, Dees, and 5.5 to 1 for me, Mr. Henley. I'm quite big on him.
Yeah, you could be on the right horse here. Although you mentioned that, as a one-time winner, which was back in June 2022, he doesn't have the worst post-maiden form, and he was rated a 90. Now, the handicapper actually cost him when he ran that good second behind Rugger Bugger, pushing him up to an 83, 1.5 kgs. Now he'd have to come back down again, now off an 81. So you could be right on his last start for him. That second win, I agree, is long overdue, and at around 11 to 2, he could be good value. But when you look at him and then you look at a horse like Now I Got You, who was having his first run for Nathan Kotson last time out, and they did back the horse from big odds, suggesting that they were expecting a good run first up for the stable. Did finish in front of Mr. Henley, so there wouldn't be much to separate them, but I hear you that 10 is drawn out deep, whereas for Mr. Henley, who's proven on the surface, having won on the surface and better drawn, whereas Now I Got You will be having his first run on the surface from a wide draw, so you could be on that 4, reversing the form with 10. But there is a horse here, Warren, that keeps me very interested. This horse called Don Carrari.
Right.
Down in class, up in weight. I say down in class. You look at the average ratings, 83, 87, 86, 90, even raced in a Pinnacle where the average rating was 100. This is an 82. When you go through his form or you try to dissect it and you bring out his profile, you'll see that he seems much better over 1,000 meters. But if he can repeat that penultimate run, that penultimate start on the poly track, I think he's a massive runner here. The form line hasn't sparked up. That's the same form line from Hope Is Power. So there shouldn't be much to choose between numbers 1 and 6. But if I had to choose one of the two, I'll be in the camp of number 6. But Warren, you're on number 4, Mr. Henley. How confident can you be? This is the start of the pick 6. Over the weekend, we were spot on in the early part of the meeting with our assessment. And then Tomiris, just things
cost us everything.
Everything fell apart after that as well. We were there or thereabouts towards the end of the meeting. We tried to get back into form, but the beginning of the meeting, we were 5-star. We read it as it panned out. But Tomiris was that was where the big cash was to collect, wasn't it?
That was where the final card that we needed, the final fall for us was we needing Tommy Riss.
Would you take a chance at
I couldn't, Dees, no.
You can't.
I like him a lot, but
Yes.
not enough to banker him in my perm.
Would you say like 1, 4, 6, and 10 should be good enough, or would you consider, a horse like, Rugger Bugger?
I'm glad you said Rugger Bugger, because that's the only other one that I would put in, because Calvin and Wendy are already on fire.
Well, that's the rule then, because it's 5 runners.
Pardon?
It's 5 runners. That's the rule. 1, 4, 6, 7, and 10. 5 out of the 10. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So that's it. So although I do like Mr. Henley, I'm just not so confident to banker him in my pick 6. But it is what it is. Okay. Maybe some boxed exactors could be a suggestion for you as well. Dees is quite fancying Don Carrari. Obviously me, Mr. Henley. So we could go boxed Mr. Henley, Don Carrari. But that's it for race 3. Let's move along and talk about race 4. But before we do that, just going back to the weekend, as you said, Dees, it was just a little stiff with Tomaris or Tomaris.
For the majority of the race.
For the majority of the race goes. But as you say, we were 5 stars before that, and then when that got beat, we ended up disasters.
That is it. That's exactly it. You just have to put the DIS in front of that. But nevertheless, that is racing, and that's the way it goes. And we'll look forward to how this pick 6 is going to pan out. Now, 5 runners here in leg number 1. In numerical order, I'll give you those numbers. It's 1, 4, 6, 7, and 10. Race number 3.
My name's Danny Diliberto, founder of Ladles of Love. It was founded back in 2014. Communities we work with are all over the peninsula, and we're working with 138 beneficiaries now. We've grown exponentially. We've been able to do that because of all the kindness that we have experienced from individuals and corporates such as Interbet, who just want to be part of the change.